Hello friends, I'm back here in front of the Council on American Islamic Relations in bustling Washington, D.C. on a crisp, cool day. I know that many of you might have been disturbed. I saw Orly Petter's comment just now. What a hero. I'm not a hero, of course. I'm just a human being out here trying to put a lens on the truth of what's happening related to the hijacking of America by an organization that is simply trying to insert its very clear anti-Israel and hot position, doubled with its anti-Semitism, into the American agenda. Today, the U.S. House of Representatives, or tomorrow, will be voting on a resolution in which they will be condemning anti-Semitism. CAIR's agenda today, along with that of an organization called Empower Change, M as in Mary, Power, like Muslim Power, run by a woman named Linda Sarsour, is their intention today is to try to insert their pet issue, Islamophobia, into that resolution. For the last 10 years, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, based in Mecca, Saudi Arabia, has funded organizations around the world, including the Council on American Islamic Relations, to insert into the Western agenda the idea of anti-Muslim hate as a priority that is equal to our opposition to Islamic extremism. I'm a Muslim. Of course, we all have to stand up against hate of all kinds. But what we have seen over this last decade is a campaign, a propaganda campaign, that has tried to turn every incident that relates to Muslims into an issue of Islamophobia. I was, in fact, just accused as a woman body blocked me from entering a congresswoman's office of touching her hijab. Now, why would I touch a woman's hijab? She was literally body blocking me, along with the man who then Facebook Lived me to Tunisia. My Facebook Live just died because that man then stepped on my cord that was charging my phone so that it would unplug. I never intend for any of this to be about me, but I'm turning the camera around and speaking to you from this position because ultimately, like, each one of us has to look deep into our conscience and really take a position of moral courage. We have to decide that this Islamist agenda that seeks to segregate, separate women into areas that we're not allowed because of the idea that we are too sexually tempting to men is not compatible with our values in the West. We have to decide that, yes, we accept the state of Israel existing. But let's be honest, this is an agenda that has been put forward through this idea of intersectional feminism that wants to then hijack all liberal movements so that Muslim issues and the anti-Israel agenda are number one. In the previous video, you will have seen a man with a button that said simply BDS on it. It stands for Boycott, Divest, Sanctions against Israel. And that is also part of the political campaign to try to isolate and alienate Israel from the global community. What has happened is that after losing so many military wars, the wound collectors that are in our Muslim community are turning to a political operation to try to destroy Israel. And much of that effort is headquartered right here at the Council on American Islamic Relations office. They stand like bouncers in front of congressional offices. They deplatform speakers at universities. And they end up ultimately trying to silence anybody including myself, who wants to challenge the extremist ideas within Islam. They do it through character assassinations and demagoguery. I'm not speaking in hyperbole. I've lived it the last decade. And so when I stand here at this corner, my arm getting tired from holding this camera, I do so to speak to you from a place of sincerity and to let my mom know that I'm safe also, because she watches videos like that. I saw you on here earlier, Mom, watching, and I know that you're scared for me. I know you were scared in that office as they started yelling at me and just, turning the tables, because they want to dominate. They want to silence any Muslim that wants to stand up. MoveOn.org just retweeted, I saw on my notifications, Rashida Tlaib's tweet that says she stands with Ilhan Omar. So what has happened is the Democratic Party has become in line with this Islamist movement and this cause that wants to bring its values. The man that's now entering into the CAIR office is a man who was starting the press conference this morning, trying to tell the cameramen where to put their cameras so that they have the right position on the Capitol behind them. He's part of their political organization. And of course, everyone has a right to have lobbyists, but let's not call this civil rights. Let's just call this what it is, which is lobbying, well-funded lobbying. And so while Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar want to become heroines for calling out organizations like AIPAC, let's be very clear about what we have going on here and who is funding all of these efforts. An organization named Jewish Voices for Peace is aligned with the organizations here, the Council on American Relations, and we have to follow the money. And it is a billionaire son named Alexander Soros that started Jewish Voices for Peace. It's not a conspiracy theory, it's just the truth. Follow the money. Governments of Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Turkey have given money to the Council on American Islamic Relations. Where do all these interests collide? That's my inquiry. Where do they intersect? I'm not actually sure exactly what the answer is, but I'm following the money, connecting the dots, and earning popularity points, as you can imagine, from within this community. But it doesn't matter. Ultimately, I am motivated for the same reason that everyone else is, and that is so that we can have a peaceful world. As a Muslim, I want to advocate for an Islam that is consistent with our 21st century values, an Islam where women have equal witness to men, where daughters get equal inheritance to sons, and a community that accepts the existence of a state of Israel. Nobody's going back and trying to eliminate the state of Pakistan after it was formed. Wars have been waged, but Pakistan will exist, and it is now 2019 and Israel exists. This effort, instead of collecting the wounds that they call Nakba, needs to simply work toward a peaceful solution so that Palestinians can live in another state parallel to Israel. And that land exists. It's not their priority. It's not their number one solution, but they've waged many wars, the Arab countries have, and they've lost. And that's simply the reality today. So what we have there is the man that did the Facebook Live pulling in and parking now from CAIR. If you have any questions, please feel free to include them in the comments. I'm happy to have a discussion online. And I'm all right, Mom. All right. Bye-bye, everyone.